Okay, so as we begin to work, the first thing that we're going to create, usually in a 3D program, are what are called geometric primitives. We find those up here, and you'll see there's several of them built in, and most programs will have those. These are 3D objects, so as we click and add one, a couple things we'll notice. That first off, it's added in the Object Manager over here. And as we click on an object here, the properties of that object are shown down here under Object Properties. So we can go and we can change things as we move forward, such as I want the y-axis to be 3 times what the x and the z are. Now I've got a tall skinny thing, right? Or for some reason, let's go ahead and leave that. Let's rotate it on the horizon 45 degrees. Okay, or on the pitch 45 degrees. There we go. And we'll see that our object is now rotated. We don't have to type in the numbers. We can come over here, and I'm in the rotate tool, so I can as well visually do that as I'm going forward. So Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Let's take it back to where we were. So also under here, we have other object properties. We can figure out the size. Now by default, we're working in centimeters. You can change that to be inches or miles, whatever you want under the system preferences. Seeing how we're not in real space, it really doesn't matter what measure of unit we're working with. Under here, one of the important things right here is called fillet. And you'll notice how it softens the edges, and we can tell it how harsh to make that fillet that's taking place and how wide we are making that fillet. And so when I hit render, we can kind of see that the edges have been filleted at that point. The more subdivisions I have, the softer that edge becomes. Right? Okay. So those are the important things that we're seeing under this particular object, and every object's going to have its own particular set of settings. For instance, a cone is going to have a top radius, let's take that back down to 0. It's going to have a bottom radius. Bottom radius. And again, we have a little handle here. We can change its height. We'll talk about segments in just a couple minutes. It also has caps. What are caps? Let's turn caps off and rotate this baby. Click there and rotate it. Is it hollow? Or does it have a bottom to it? And so that's what we're seeing right there. We can also decide whether we're going to fillet those caps. Fillet bottom. I'm more concerned about filleting the bottom than I am the top. And now we have like a Hershey's Kiss as I fillet that bottom and get more of a teardrop shape. This particular one has something called slice. If you think about the fact that we're actually taking a triangle and rotating it around a center axis, I know math, right? Do we want it to rotate the whole way, or do we just want to rotate it part of the way? And that's kind of what the slice does. So, as you're playing, and where I would start off playing is to go in and discover some of these basic shapes, look at the different properties we have and change some of them. It'll give you kind of an idea of the tools that we're working with.